how much changing do you do, or do you find it's necessary to do once you get a song into the studio and you're at the point of recording? Do you find that it goes straight in, or do you sometimes have to think, hang on a minute, that needs changing?
Well, it varies. There are a couple of songs, I mean, on the new album, that when we went into the studio, they did change a fair bit from the demos that we'd done, because we demo all the songs up, so we know pretty much what the arrangement is and how we want it to sound. And most of the songs on the new album were pretty much fully formed when we went as ideas, we went into the studio. I mean, all the songwriting's done, all the lyrics are done, I don't go in the studio and write, because I've got so much sort of material already that is already written. So when we go into the studio, it's pretty much fully sort of formed what we're going to do. But there were a couple of songs on there, particularly the single that's just been on Radio 2 for the last 6 weeks. It's called I'd Rather Be. And that's a song, I actually wrote that years ago, and it's gone through various sort of incarnations. It was a piano ballad at one point, and it's a sort of folk song almost at one point. And then when we went into the studio with it, my producer, Philip Tennant, he said, oh no, we've got to do, let's get some drums on it, let's just do it a lot faster, let's cut this verse, loads of things sort of happened in the studio that it ended up coming out in a completely different way from how I originally wrote it. And I'm thrilled with it. I love it, like, as it is,
It's great, isn't it, when you have a piece of work and somebody else listens to it and says, yeah, it's fabulous, but have you thought about, and all of a sudden, something like the song takes a totally different turning.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, everybody was having their sort of input on that. Like, like Jeff, the drummer, he'd go, have you thought of trying this? And, what about if we made the melody do this at this part, or repeated that part there? And, I think they brought a real, more of a pop sensibility to it than which had maybe been missing before. Because I come from a sort of classical background, if you like, and then my partner Christian Dunham, who's produced the 3 albums with us, so he's actually trained in jazz, so we kind of brought those kind of elements to it. But with Philip Tennant, who's he produced records for The Cure and all sorts of people, he's brought much more of a pop kind of angle to it, which is great. It makes the songs really accessible and very listenable. So I was very happy with that.
Are you one of these people who's maybe like Stevie Wonder, that has a library, a room full of songs that are sort of written but not 100% finished, so that you could go in there and pick it up and just think, right, okay, well, I'll do this with it and then it will be right?
Yeah, I've got thousands. I can't tell you. I mean, I actually, you see, I wrote songs in my bedroom for years. I was ill for a long time. That's why I actually started writing. That's why I got a guitar, and it was really to pass the time, because I was stuck at home all the time. And so, when I started writing, I wasn't able to go out and perform. And to be honest with you, I had really bad stage fright. The idea of going out and singing one of my own songs on stage was just so terrifying to me. I used to, I performed a lot when I was a kid on the cello, classical music, but that's different. There's something about, writing your own song and then going up and singing it to people is so exposing. So for about 7 years, I was just writing songs all the time and not recording them, not performing them. So by the time I came to do my first album, I already had over 100 songs that I'd finished. And then obviously, I'm writing all the time, so I'm, producing kind of, you produce sort of like songs that you wouldn't want people to hear. Maybe sort of 1 in every 10 songs is what I call a stayer. You think, you still think it's good in the morning, when you could quite often have an idea it's sort of in the middle of the night, you think, it's the best thing I've ever written, and then in the cold light of day, then 9 o'clock the next morning, you think, maybe not.
So, what's next? I mean, is there a new single on the way?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, the next single is it's just been decided, actually. It's going to be Anything You Do, which is a ballad. And it was actually one of the very few sort of first love songs that I wrote. And it's the only co-write as well that I've ever done, with a guy called Bruce Willey. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that.
Oh, that's great. And you're recording anything more with another album?
Yeah, well, like I say, you know, I've got all the material for the next album, so I can't wait to do it. But you know, I really need to sort of get out there and be doing gigs and, you know, promoting this one, because I mean, at the end of the day, writing is great, and when I've got the inspiration, I do make the most of it. But what it's really all about is going out and singing songs to people and playing live. That's, having got over my stage fright now, you know, that's what I really love doing, touring. So as soon as I can get back on the road, I'll be there.
So have you got any plans for a tour, or is it just at the moment that you're hoping to get something together?
Yeah, well, at the moment, actually, I'm doing gigs. There's a coffee shop chain in the UK called Cafe Nero, and I'm their Artist of the Month. So they've got over 400 coffee shops around the country. So I've been travelling around playing, you know, in Manchester and Birmingham. I was in Birmingham last night, and Brighton, and, you know, places like that. So singing to people in coffee shops, which is sort of following in the tradition of the troubadours, you know, in New York in the 60s and 70s, that, you know, Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell and people like that who went and did kind of playing in coffee shops. And it's great vibe. It's really intimate and really relaxed, and you start having a cup of tea, just playing some songs. It's so civilised.
Oh, well, it's so much nicer than having pipe music or you know, videos or something like that playing. It's just, it must be fantastic.
Yeah. It's actually standing in the corner playing with a guitar, and, you know, people are having a coffee and listening. It's just lovely. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, I bet you do. That sounds fantastic, actually. There's a couple of people out here that do play in cafes and sort of, I don't want to call them snack bars, but it's that sort of environment, and I think that's just wonderful. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I love that thing, because, I mean, I love listening to live music, and especially in that sort of environment, it's really relaxed. In fact, you know, I don't know if you have them out there, open mic nights, because there's loads of those in the UK, and you just can go and listen to, you maybe, you know, 6, 7, 8 people performing in a night, and they all do sort of 3 songs each, and it's just fantastic. So you get to hear so many different people, and there are just, I mean, there's just so much talent out there. It's really, really great.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, I hope everything goes well for you on the
Thank you.
on the tour around the coffee bars. And you never know.
Thank you so much for playing my songs. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. And I hope we maybe get a coffee bar down here that you can play in. That'd be lovely.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh, please. Come out and get a bit of sunshine and play some music. There's nothing I would love more. That would be great.
Okay, Emily. Well, look, take care. All the best. We'll certainly start playing the new single as soon as we can. And we'll look forward to hearing from you in the not too distant future, I hope.
Thank you so much, Lee. That's great.
Thanks a lot. Cheers for now.